The Cellcast is recorded in front of a live streaming audience.
If it hadn't been for you, I would be now in someone else's digestion.
You know there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so.
It's Bad Movie Month on the Cellcast.
Don't sweat it, forget it, enjoy the show.
Working all day, now it's time to unwind. Kick back, relax, take a load off your mind. I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing cause it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who did not need a love potion to get engaged. Welcome, Jacob.
Thankfully not. That's why I think you'll introduce our co-host, a man who, if he has to go pick another flower and start another war, we might have a problem here. Welcome through.
This is why you don't pick flowers. You go to the florist. They're cleaner there. They've gotten all the primroses out, so all the love potions aren't going to have to be met.
That is true.
So yeah, we're reviewing, this is our final movie for Bad Movie Month, and we are reviewing the final George Lucas film that he ever worked on in any way, shape, or form, and
Maybe.
outside of created by credit.
Yeah, outside of Lucasfilm, I think.
He doesn't work for Lucasfilm anymore.
I know that.
I don't even think he gets any he gets residuals on his original movies probably, but I don't think he gets anything for any of the other stuff. But
No, I don't think so.
either way, yeah, it's Strange Magic, the animated jukebox musical about fairies and true love.
Oh my gosh. This is not true love.
This will change the way you feel about that song that starts sugar pie honey bun.
Oh my gosh, please.
Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and jump into the spoiler-free section on this?
Certified fresh and spoiler-free.
This is my second viewing of this film.
That's right. You did say me like you seen
Because
this before.
I saw this in a theater.
Oy.
Here in Jacksonville. It was the first movie I saw in what's now the Apex.
Wow.
And I went to watch it solely because I wanted to see what a true George Lucas animated film was going to be like, especially since I knew that this film, special compensation was made for it so it would still get released in the sale to Disney. Wow.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
And this is not one of my favorite films. I will say on the second viewing, for the first couple minutes of the film, I was debating if I was remembering correctly or not, because this is a very nice looking film.
Agreed.
And most of the earmarks of a bad film I was not seeing. So up until I guess the Bog King was introduced, I was thinking I'm gonna have to apologize to Jacob for putting this on here, because this is obviously not a bad movie.
Yeah.
I chose wrong. We're gonna have to cram something else out in a hurry. And I kept watching and go, no, this belongs here, because this story it is a love story.
Yes. A very poor love story, let's say that.
Let me put it this way. With most of the romance movies, or romantic relationships we have seen across every episode of this podcast, there's always at least one romantic relationship, even if it's not called out. You can tell there's two characters at least who are friendly with each other.
Yes.
In almost every one of those situations, I can see the relationship. I believe that these two characters are in love with each other.
Yeah.
This includes the ones where you know, like Snow White, where she just met him because he kissed her and she woke up.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, she knew him at the beginning of the movie, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. We're not even talking about the new movie. Let's say that.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're even gonna see the new movie
Probably not.
because I don't think either one of us want to sit through that. But
I think generally, I think I'd be curious
I am as
and see how
curious.
bad of a wreck with this.
I'm
is
as
gonna be.
curious with that as I am as curious at how much of a wreck the Barbie movie is, but not enough to see it in a theater
I got you. Fair.
because I still haven't watched Barbie.
Hmm.
And if I do, it's going to be because there's nothing else to watch. So probably not for a long time. Or if someone forces me to watch it. You know how that goes.
Mhm.
Either way,
Oh, here.
there is, by the end of this,
Yeah.
2 major relationships.
Yes.
And I don't believe either one.
No.
I do not see either relationship as a couple. So for a very romance heavy
Mm-hmm.
movie, I kind of see that as a bad thing. Granted, this is obviously not made for adults. And I even would hesitate to say, like most Disney films, that you can watch as an adult and still get something out of it. This is definitely meant to be a kids movie
Yes.
and trying to explain all these things at a kid level. And even then, I don't think it works.
No.
So I'll get more into my issues with this, but yeah, this is not a horrible film. This
No.
is not
No.
like last week
Mhm.
with Norm of the North, but this is definitely it needs a script doctor.
A little bit.
This movie could have made it
little bit.
out of Bad Movie Month for me if it had had a script doctor and cleaned some of its
Mhm.
issues, some of the story issues up. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Again, this is my first time viewing it. I heard about the trailer. I think I saw the trailer. It was like, not really, not my cup of tea. And then now, who put this on the list? Did I or you did?
I did.
Okay.
Because that's the thing about the Bad Movie Month this year. One got put on the list because Nathan was coming on, and we kind of
Right.
joked, "Oh, well, if you want to put me on the show for Bad Movie Month, there is one we could do that has a giant octopus kaiju."
That is true.
So that didn't count against either one of us.
true.
And then Warriors of Virtue was done
Mhm.
because we were having the Rushmore guys
Yes.
on for that one. So technically, the only movies we picked for Bad Movie Month
Right.
was Norm of the North, which was your pick,
Mhm.
and I put on there Strange Magic. And Strange Magic had been on the list, I think, since I scheduled out this far.
Yeah.
Because I think for a long time, this was the only thing I had in Bad Movie Month,
Yeah.
besides possibly The Legend of the Titanic, but I was hesitant at the time.
Right.
But anyway, because that's the thing, is when we finalized the schedule before we started talking to Nate and the Rushmore guys,
Mhm.
we had like nothing planned for
That
this
is true.
month, and we'd gotten behind.
Yeah. Of course.
But we are at least planned out through November now, so
True.
which actually puts us to the end of X-Men.
Yeah.
What we're going to pair with Evangelion has yet to be seen.
Yes. We'll get there when we get there.
We got some time.
Yeah, but like Drew said, be like, you first watch this film, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a beautiful film. This is like
Mhm.
cinematic.
Well animated, great,
Oh my gosh.
great cinematic scenes. Like I said, under normal circumstances, this would not have made it in there.
Yeah, exactly. And then you see characters, and then you hear them talk, and
Character
then you hear them
designs are-
sing.
Character designs are not even that bad.
No, it's
They're
just-
not what I prefer.
No.
but they're not that bad.
No, what I'm referring to is be like, it's like some of these characters a little bit be like they're drawn very well, they're animated very well. It's just like a little bit of uncanny valley in some capacities. But
yeah,
overall, be like, this was a interesting film. I didn't necessarily like the film per se. I enjoyed the visual aesthetic of what I saw. Would I recommend this film? That's a tough one. Would I recommend? Strange Magic from Lucasfilm. Would I recommend that?
I actively can't, but
I would say be like if you want to see something that is done executed wise, animation wise, cinema wise, done very well, and you're just looking for visual candy to look at, it's like this movie is there.
yeah.
But if you're looking for something that's got like a good story, characters, the whole enchilada, this is not the movie for you. So yeah.
All right then. You ready to jump into the full review of this then?
Yes.
Alrighty. The following is a spoiler-filled review for the film Strange Magic. Listener discretion is advised. Strange Magic was written and directed by Gary Rydstrom, who directed the Pixar short Lifted. That's the alien abduction one that was released with Ratatouille originally.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I had to look it up because it's like I recognized the name, but I didn't know where I recognized it from. It was also written by David Gerenbaum, Irene Mecci, and George Lucas.
Yes.
Cast, we've got Evan Rachel Wood as Marianne. And recently in Weird, the Al Yankovic story, she played Madonna.
Oh, okay.
I still need to watch this film because I don't have Roku channel.
Yeah.
So,
and how big of a Weird Al fan you are.
Considering I know most of his songs by heart.
Exactly. Go on a road trip with this guy. Most of the time, that's what you'll hear. Or go somewhere.
He
with
is
him.
the only artist that I actively follow and will get all the albums, songs unheard. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. But anyway,
agreed.
Alan Cumming played the Bog King. And he played Kurt Wagner in X2.
He did.
AKA Nightcrawler.
That's where I primarily know him from.
That's the only thing I recognize that he did. Because I saw Alan Cumming and I was actually thinking of Jim Cumming.
That's what I kept thinking. I was like, wait, Pooh Bear did this? No.
No, that's not Pooh Bear. That's not Darkwing Duck.
Exactly.
Elijah Kelly was the voice of Sonny.
Oh, Sonny.
The elf.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Sonny.
And in the movie Red Tails, he played Samuel Joker George.
Really?
It's the only thing I saw that really had any impact.
I gotcha.
Meredith Ann Bull was the voice of Dawn. And in an episode of Star Wars Rebels, she played a character named Goody Therese. And before you ask who that is, I don't know.
Okay.
It's one episode, and that was like the only thing on her entire thing besides Strange Magic that I recognized. She did not have much to pick from. This was pretty much going to be her breakout role.
And apparently only role.
And, well, not only. She had other things.
Oh, okay.
But none of them were like the thing. This was the highest thing.
Oh, okay.
Like this should have been had this movie succeeded, this would have been her breakout role.
Yeah.
The one that she'd be initially remembered for and then get hired on elsewhere.
Right.
Like like Star Wars was for both Keira Knightley and
Kira. Oh yeah.
I still want to say Padme Amidala. That's not the actress's name.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. In my defense, I had already said Keira Knightley, so I went to Padme because I get these two ladies confused because of Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Sam Palladio was the voice of Roland. This guy's IMDb is even worse. All I found was Gunnar Scott in the television show Nashville. And this was the thing that was the most, like he had over 200 appearances, over 100 appearances. I don't remember how much it was.
Wow.
But like nothing else was like something I would have said stood out. Kristen Chenoweth was the voice of the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yes.
And I was a little confused on this because I knew the name Kristen Chenoweth from from a lot of things.
Yeah.
But there was, when I was going through her stuff, the only thing I recognized was Wicked from 2004.
Yeah.
where she played Glinda.
Galinda.
Glinda is how it's written.
Yes.
You
But it's
said
Galinda.
either way.
Yeah. Well, the
And I'm
character,
assuming
the character
that's.
changes her name in the middle of the play from Galinda to Glinda.
I'm still guessing that this is the straight to DVD version of that recording of the play.
No. That she was the first Glinda.
No.
Yes.
No, how it's credited in here.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I'm assuming she played the character in the Broadway version of the play.
Yes.
And that's the version that was recorded for the straight to DVD video. Because literally this was credited as Wicked Video, but it had the Wicked poster on it.
Oh, the logo on it. Okay.
So
That's interesting.
that is
there
because that's the thing is this is where I look it up, it does not actually give me Broadway credits.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why I wasn't sure if she was the original actress
okay.
or
I got you.
maybe she was an understudy that happened to be in the night they recorded this.
No.
But either way, I know I've seen Kristen Chenoweth on other things, but nothing stood out of what I would have remembered her from.
Yeah, she's fairly prolific. Like she's done TV, she's done movies.
Yeah, she's in like a lot of stuff. But anyway, Alfred Molina
Alfred Molina's in this film.
was the voice of the Fairy King, aka Fairy George Lucas.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because
And
he
he-
definitely looks like George Lucas.
And he played Dr. Otto Octavius in Spider-Man.
Yes.
Maya Rudolph
Huh.
was the voice of Griselda, Bog King's mother.
Huh.
And she was Aunt Cass in Big Hero 6.
Mm-hmm.
And Brenda Chapman played the imp.
Oh, Brenda Chapman did?
Yes.
Oh,
She is the uncredited singing voice of Miriam in The Prince of Egypt.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yes. How many Kingdom Hearts connections I have?
Oh my. Okay. I'm gonna go with maybe 5,
Lower.
3,
Lower.
2,
It's 1.
1.
One. Now, I will admit, I probably could have pulled more because there was some music ones,
Mm-hmm.
but I tend to only pull music ones if I have them and I have no actors.
Got it.
Or if there's not an interesting one in there. But Kevin Michael Richardson
Really?
was the voice of Brutus in this.
Oh,
That was the
big tank guy.
big tank guy.
Yeah.
Hanging around with what was apparently a girl fairy.
Yeah. My gosh, that's
No, Brutus was the girl fairy.
No, he
Oh,
wasn't.
it was the other guy. It was the other guy. Sorry,
Well, Brutus.
because the other one was like, "You're a girl. What? You couldn't tell from my girlish figure?" Actually, I couldn't.
Oh my gosh, that was actually hilarious. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
Okay, that was.
But yeah, he's Brutus in this, and in Kingdom Hearts, he was both, of course, Captain Gantu
Mm-hmm.
from Lilo and Stitch originally,
Yes.
because he's the original voice actor for that,
Mhm.
and he played Sebastian,
The crab, right?
lobster. But yeah, well, no, he is a crab.
Yeah, he's a
In
crab.
my mind, he's a lobster, but he's a crab.
Gotcha.
He does a pretty decent version of Under the Sea in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
And Finny Fun.
Finny.
I need to
Fun.
I need to start doing Untangling Kingdom Hearts again so I can explain
Finny.
Finny Fun.
Okay. This is going to be
You know what?
interesting.
Let me just go ahead and give the quick version.
Oh boy.
You know how in the part of Kingdom Hearts you saw me play,
Yes.
we had a whole world based on Little Mermaid that you fought, Heartless and stuff through there in 3-dimensional space because you were swimming, and it was actually well done and kind of cool.
Yeah.
In Kingdom Hearts 2, for some reason, the Heartless have not gotten back to that world yet. So it's been, instead of it being a adventure world, it's all rhythm mini games set to music.
No.
Now, of course, they do things like Part of Your World.
Mm-hmm.
They do Under the Sea
Mm-hmm.
and Kiss the Girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how Sora is involved with that one the more I think about it, but I know that's one of the levels. The last one is the fight against Ursula, which There is no song against Ursula when you're fighting Ursula. No
Yeah.
musical. But they wrote a song, and it's kind of weird. But it's actually well done. And the only weird line in there is she says something when she's referring to her to the Flotsam and Jetsam, where she
Yes.
calls them her little poopsies.
Yes.
But because this was a minigame and they had to introduce you to the mechanics of this, they wrote a song called, I don't remember the name of it, but it's bad. And I always call it Finny Fun because that's one of the lines in the song. It's like
I got
do
you.
do 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 boo 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 doo boo da 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 da. It's like, I hate the song. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. And what's confusing is that after you beat all 5 of those levels,
Yeah.
you do get a short interlude with Sora, Donald, and Goofy singing about how they're leaving. And apparently, Haley Joel Osment is not a singer, which is hilarious considering Roxas is in this game, who is a Sora. Spoiler alert. And he's played by a singer whose name has just completely left my mind. Jesse McCartney.
McCartney?
Jesse McCartney.
Okay. Interesting.
He can sing.
Yes, he can.
But he's not the one who gets to sing in this part.
Wow.
So okay, back to where we were. So
Yes.
that's all I've got for Kingdom Hearts connections. What do we have in info and stuff?
Info. All right. So info and stuff. It has an IMDb score of 7.5.7 out of 10. You can watch it on Disney Plus because it came in with the Lucas bundle when Lucasfilm was bought by Disney. Production.
This film was on a part of Disney Plus when Disney Plus launched.
Yeah.
So this is a part of the initial batch.
Yeah. Exactly. It's been on the
This film.
this lovely film. Either or. Production. Lucasfilm Animation, which no longer exists, sadly. ILM, or also known as Industrial Light and Magic.
Who were the ones doing they made the tools for
Yes.
Lucasfilm Animation.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. They're the ones who actually did the animation.
Yes.
Because Lucasfilm Animation was just a management company for Lucasfilm.
Didn't know that. Distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. Release date January 33rd.
It was in the dump month.
Apparently, of 2015. Getting into the box office, it does not give me a estimated budget. So
70 to 100 million,
thank you.
according to Wikipedia.
There we go. Its opening weekend was $5.5 million on January 25th, 2015. Its US and Canada gross was 12.5, and its international gross $13.6 million. This movie stank.
This was bad.
This was bad. Very, very bad. All right, home release. Strange
Did
Magic
this
was
get a home release?
it got a home release. Strange Magic was released by Touchstone Home Entertainment on DVD and digital on May 19th, 2015.
Okay.
So yeah, there's no sequels, there's no television series, there's no nothing because this movie tanked.
It tanked.
Unlike
and Disney did not care.
No. Unlike Norm of the North, which didn't do anything in theaters, it did a little.
Well,
And it's 3 freaking spin-offs.
because it made money.
It did. Barely.
It made money because they didn't put any in it. It's like anything they made was profit.
Agreed. But anyway, so that's all I have for an info and stuff.
Getting into the summary. A magical realm is divided between the fairy kingdom and the dark forest. When fairy princess Marianne sees her fiance Roland kissing another fairy on their wedding day, she vows never to fall in love again. In the dark forest, The Bog King has the same view on love despite his caring mother Griselda's protests. Marianne's sister Dawn and her elf friend Sunny are nearly devoured by a giant lizard before Marianne rescues them. After falling through the border and into the dark forest, Sunny finds a primrose petal and hides it. At the spring ball, Roland tries to win back Marianne, who arguably angrily drives him away. Roland consults his warriors, who jokingly tell him to procure the love potion to woo Marianne. Roland then encounters Sunny, who has an unrequited love for Dawn. He convinces Sunny to venture into the dark forest to get the love potion, which they would both use on their respective fairies. Sunny goes back and finds the hidden primrose petal, and with the guidance of an imp, travels to the Bog King's lair where the Sugar Plum Fairy has been held prisoner by the Bog King. Sunny finds the Sugar Plum Fairy, who agrees to make the love potion if Sunny promises to set her free. Plum's escape rouses Bog King, who recaptures her while Sunny and the imp escape. Sunny returns to the ball and tries to hit Dawn with the love potion. Bog interrupts the celebrations and captures Dawn just as she is sprayed by the love potion, and the imp steals it in order to spread it throughout the forest. Bog orders them to deliver the potion to him by moondown, or he will harm Dawn. Defying her father's orders, Marianne flies off after her sister while he grants Roland a small army to head off on foot to Bog's castle.
No, Marianne doesn't defy his order. Say it's not so.
Dawn falls in love with Bog due to the potion, and Bog has her imprisoned for his own sanity. Marianne arrives and fights with Bog to return her sister. When she realizes the severity of the situation, the two of them begin to find common interests. When they consult Sugar Plum for an antidote, she explains that true love will negate the effects of the potion. A mutual attraction begins to develop between Marianne and Bog, but only Griselda sees it. Sunny recovers the potion from the imp and gives it to Roland as they march on to the castle. Bog sees this and suspects that Marianne has set him up, breaking his heart again as he leaves her stranded in a spider web. She escapes and joins in the battle taking place at the castle. Sunny frees Sugar Plum, Dawn, and the love-stricken forest creatures that the imp had hit with the love potion. In the escape, Bog holds the mouth of his den open long enough for everyone to escape. He survives, to Marianne's relief, and Sunny reveals his true feelings to Dawn, and they kiss. Bog and Marianne finally admit their feelings for each other and kiss. I note that this summary leaves out the final fate of Roland.
Yes.
Because Roland hits Marianne with the love potion. She tricks him into thinking she's magically fallen in love with him just to punch him so hard he falls off into a hole, and then the love potion goes out after obviously catching him in the face. And then at an after credit scene, we see that he and a fly, because of the potion, have fallen in love. Getting into the trivia for this, as stated earlier, the Fairy King is modeled after George Lucas.
Yes.
Gut and all.
Poor George.
The only guy who's fat in this entire film.
That is true.
And it's not just a playful pudginess.
No, he's just
it
a
is
big
bowling
guy.
ball.
He's a huge guy.
And on a fairy, that's not nice. The Bog King's design was based on a praying mantis and a cockroach. The sisters Marianne and Dawn were to have long brown hair, but to save on animation costs, it was changed to Marianne having short hair and Dawn having blonde.
Interesting.
George Lucas wrote this film because he wanted to make a fun movie and a musical.
He could have picked better music.
George, speaking of which, that's not for a little bit. Sorry, hang on. Yeah, George Lucas describes the story's main theme as the difference between infatuation and true love. Love is on the inside. This is a quote from him. Love is on the inside. It's somebody you have common ground with. It's someone you share the same values with, common interests. You share the things that will last you the rest of your lives, and what the person looks like will not. The sisters Marianne and Dawn were named after the two Four Seasons songs of the same title, one of which Come On Marianne was actually sung in the film.
Oh, okay, that's right.
According to director Gary Rydstrom, the film is inspired by William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Fair, true.
Inspired, yes.
Yeah,
A romantic
inspired.
comedy involving misunderstandings and cross purposes between different races.
Mm-hmm.
The fairy tales The Ugly Duckling and Beauty and the Beast, and the films American Graffiti, anthology of stories, and Labyrinth, a quest undertaken by a female protagonist to save a sibling. I think he was just throwing names of movies at the door at that point.
I think so.
This is the third animated film produced by Lucasfilm after Twice Upon a Time in 1983
Mhm.
and Star Wars The Clone Wars in 2008, and it was the first distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures.
Hmm.
George Lucas, to get back to your earlier point,
Yes.
is a big fan of music and
Mhm.
spent 5 years with music supervisor Steven
Kaczynski,
whatever,
not Kaczynski. That's the bomber.
Gazicki, choosing the right songs for this film.
He chose poorly.
He described it as an arduous task. It
You
was
think?
like a Rubik's Cube, he says. When I went through it, I had a million songs and had to narrow it down. Then, as the years went on, we kept narrowing it down. In other words, you really didn't know what you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. You could have narrowed it a little bit further. Probably got a little committee and got together and be like, "Hey,
Or,
let's put this in the
or
film."
here's a wild idea. Pick your songs and write the story around them.
Yeah, exactly. And get people who can sing.
Some of them could say.
Some of them can't.
Keyword.
Yeah, can.
According to Meredith Ann Bull, who saw Peter Stormare, who plays Thang, that is the female one.
Oh, that is Fang.
That's Thang.
Fang.
Peter Stormare chewed an entire pack of gum when he went to record the voice for Thang.
Really?
Yeah. When you see the toadstools whispering, this is actually accurate.
Hmm.
Fungi share an underground communication network.
Mm-hmm. Fun.
At one point, Marianne is practicing using a sword to block incoming fairies while blindfolded, mirroring Luke Skywalker doing the same thing with the training remote in Star Wars A New Hope.
Yes.
From the main voice cast, 2 actors had previously worked on Lucasfilm Productions. Elijah Kelly was in Red Tails, and Alfred Molina made his film debut in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
While the film is mainly influenced by William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, it contains homages to other Shakespearean works, Much Ado About Nothing, Two Love Haters Fall in Love Themselves, The Taming of the Shrew, Two Sisters, One Nice and the Other Abrasive are the principal female characters, and All's Well That Ends Well, a philandering suitor is the main antagonist.
Mm.
And that's all I've got for trivia.
Got it.
So, Jacob, what is your first like for this film?
My first like would actually be the animation in this film, because the animation by itself is gorgeous. That for me, if we took the like I thought earlier this week, be like, if I was to recommend this movie to most people, it would be what I would recommend for most people. Now, granted, I'm halfway joking with this, is put the captions on and just hit mute and just watch it for the visual storytelling, because there again, that's what George Lucas is known for, and just the creativity of what puts into the world and the whole bit, just the visual storytelling, the visual world building, and all that great stuff is done very, 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 very well. And I applaud this movie for what ILM did with this, and it is just spectacular animation. And I wish the story would have been a whole lot better, and it would have been a little more fleshed out, and certain magical systems would have made more sense. But other than that, be like, the animation is just gorgeous. Oh my gosh. So yeah, animation. That's my first like.
I'm gonna have to go with you on that too, because the animation on this is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I have some issues with textures in some cases.
Yeah, agree.
But I mean, for the most part, if this was if the certain other aspects of this film were better than they actually are,
yes,
that I would kind of forgive. But the animation as a whole, I thought was beautifully well done. The character models look like they're absolutely gorgeous. The transparency on Bog King's wings, since they are more mosquito-like wings, I thought was done very well. And all the characters, even the quote-unquote ugly characters in the Dark Forest, their designs were not especially disgusting, if that makes sense. They weren't pretty like the fairies were, of course, because there is supposed to be a difference, but it really made it a lot easier to swallow how there's not really that neither side is the villain here. That there's not a good side and an evil side. So, I mean, so the character designs and the animation in this, I think, worked brilliantly.
Yes.
What's your second like?
My second like would be one character, the Imp.
Mm.
I freaking, when this character showed
the
up,
Imp really does it makes sense you would really like the Imp, is what I'm trying to say, because that seems like one of the characters you type of character you gravitate towards.
Yeah, like fun, energetic.
He's a Stitch.
Yeah, he's a Stitch. Literally, he is a Experiment 626, except he's an Imp. And just the way like he acts, he behaves, he's very mischievous. He wants the potion for some reason, and just his wanting to guide. I want to call him Scout, but that's not Scout.
Sunny.
I was close. It was an S name, but Sunny to the potion master, whatever her name is.
Sugar Plum.
Sugar Plum. Thank you. I'm getting,
because she's the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Yeah, Sugar Plum Fairy. Thank you. But yes, be like this. I love this character. Once he popped up, be like he's got Sunny tied up, and it's just like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And like the entire time he's on screen, I'm like, oh my gosh, just give me more of this Imp character. I love this character to death. Be like he's the bright shining moment in the movie until they drop him. Like a bad habit.
Yeah.
So I'll get into my dislikes later. But while the Imp is on the screen, him being his funny, goofy, mischievous self, I enjoy that character to death. And I really wish they would have, emphasized that more. I like how one reviewer said that I wish they would have given him more backstory. Maybe he had more connection with the Sugar Plum Fairy, or maybe he was cursed to be an Imp, or something like that. I really wish they would have done that and maybe fleshed out the story a little bit more, but this is what we got. So the Imp, for the time, the duration of the film, he is in the film. He is, to me, he is solid, because there again, I'm a huge fan of Stitch.
Right.
And he's a Stitch-like character. So yeah. What are you?
There are several comedic bits in here that hit very well.
Yeah. Agreed.
Some of them involve the Imp.
Yeah.
A lot of them actually involve the Imp.
Exactly.
But to talk about one that does not involve the Imp, when Dawn gets hit by the love potion and sees the Bog King and falls in love with him because of the magic, every time she sees him, she sings Sugar Pie Honey Bun. Now, the first time this happens, this is like, okay, I kind of saw that coming.
Yes.
But there's the part when Marianne finally gets up to it, and and Bog King is showing what happened to her sister.
Oh my god.
He opens the door and you don't even see Dawn. You just open the door and you hear Sugar Pie Honey Bun. It's like full on, like the whole song is playing. He opens it up just long enough and then closes the door again, and the music shuts off. And that made me laugh.
Oh yeah.
It's like, that is funny.
Yes.
That is funny.
That was very hilarious.
There are a couple other instances, especially involving the fact that the thing is, Bog King starts off, you think he's just going to be the big bad villain.
Yeah.
And then it has to do stuff to make you understand he's not really the villain. He's just depressed.
Yeah.
When you get right down to how done he is with every single person in his kingdom is just kind of funny. The Alan Cumming, who did this voice,
Yes.
does such a good job vocally.
Does. Oh my gosh.
Showing her, I am just so tired of love potions and love in general and all the idiots that I'm stuck working with because somehow I am their king. I still want to know how that works. But it's like you just tell he's so done with the world. And that actually is the only thing that helps me see him and Marianne as a couple, even though it ultimately falls flat because of the writing. Because at least for a short minute before he sees Sunny on the lizard, I was starting to see the relationship.
Yeah.
It goes away because Bog King shifts gears way too fast.
He does.
And there's a lot of too quick forgiveness that goes on in this. So I enjoyed those bits of the humor in this. What's your third like?
So speaking of the Bog King and Marianne, oh my gosh. So speaking of the Bog King and Marianne be like not Marianne.
Dawn?
No. Bog King and what's the big chicks character's name?
Marianne.
Yeah, Marianne.
The one that was in love was going to have the wedding at the beginning, and then
thank you.
Goes evil, not evil, but no, goes. I hate love.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Marianne.
So Marianne be like Marianne the Bog King, be like that love dynamic of who they are, because you have this quote unquote the bad guy and the main heroine of the story, falling in love with each other. You don't see that a whole lot. Be like, you see very rarely because most writers are not willing to, put that in their story. Sometimes they do. You see it a lot more in anime than you see in Western films. But yeah, someone please clip that. That was hilarious. But I love the they kind of break the, as I call it in my notes, the status quo. Like who you're supposed to fall in love with. So this is a very interesting dynamic. I don't agree that it works. I don't think it would work. Definitely from a like a romantic or personality wise, they're too close to being the same character. But I'll get that to in a few minutes. My dislikes, but I love the shift in dynamic of the main heroine and the main villain falling in love with each other. I was like, okay, bravo, that's a good idea. That was a very good idea. I thought it was very well done in some capacity, but I think it falls short, like Drew said earlier, because of the writing and how they write both of these characters. They're way too be like, they're too cross-pollinating way too much to actually, because there again, me and my now fiance be like, yes, we have certain things that we like. We be like our faith and other things like that kind of connect there. But it's way too there's way too much of this going on when we're coming to a relationship. There has to be different things you like.
Yeah.
And you're willing to do things. And it's just like they're way too much alike. But I'll get into my dislikes later. But I like that they break the status quo, like I said before, and put the villain and the main and protagonist together as a couple. I thought it was very bold writing in some capacities. So yeah, that's my third like.
My third like for this was what I like to call the music video moments of the film.
Yeah.
There's two big ones.
Yeah.
Near the beginning when she's still getting married to Roland, and they do that. She's on one side of the screen, he's on the other, and they're going around. And
I love that.
They're going around
gosh.
the. I guess it's a leaf or a piece of grass, and how it's shifting between them as it's going to either side because it's not lined up. It took me a couple. I actually had to rewind part of that to see. Because I had a hard time actually seeing the transition between her and him when they're crossing in front.
Yes.
Because it's like, I know there has to be. I don't know if it's a straight line or if there's like a quick morph or something. But, and I think I don't think I was able to actually make a decision on how they did that. I think it was a straight line edit that would make the most sense.
Yeah.
But that there looked great, and then at the very end, the kaleidoscope visuals.
Yeah.
Even though after a couple minutes, it's like, move on.
Yeah.
We're
Please.
done here.
Mhm.
But some of the way that was set up, and part of the reason they kept doing it was because they were going through every character like it was. Okay, so one of the big things that pops up in a lot of these animated movies that we review, both
Yeah.
good and bad, is the dance party ending.
Yeah.
Technically, this does not have a dance party ending,
Yeah. Agreed.
but I think the kaleidoscope is supposed to be the dance party ending.
Yes.
In essence, because you kind of get the feeling that you're supposed to be seeing names of the actors playing the parts on each one of the screens, but it's going too fast for the lawyers and the to be happy with the credit length.
Yeah.
So that's why we get I think we even get it at the end.
Yeah.
Or we get the longer credits with at the end, but it's just showing like 2D images. But I mean, the effect looked cool, and at the time, I was like, "Okay, this looks good." At the beginning, and then it kept going,
Yeah.
and kept going, and kept going.
It drags on.
And it's like, okay, you don't have to show every character in this if you're not actually going to be giving me names of actors. And besides that, this is the first time we've seen the imp since Sonny got the potion back from him.
Yeah.
Is at this point. So it's like, okay. But it looked good
Yeah.
for the most part. It just went on too long.
Yeah. Agreed.
So yeah, that's the end of my likes.
All right.
What's your first dislike for this?
My first dislike, like I said, my second like, I love the imp. They drop way too many freaking plot points in this movie. Oh my
yes.
gosh. So you have the Primrose story. Like, you think that's gonna be a really important story through the entire line because it's the first thing they bring up, really. Nope, it's dropped.
Well, that's part of the love potion thing, which does kind of go all the way to
Kind
like
of.
it goes until the imp steals the love potion.
Yeah, that's just it.
And then once Sonny gets the love potion back from the imp, it kind of disappears until Roland brings the potion back at the end and
Yeah.
tries to hit Marianne with it one last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So, and then you have the imp story. You have the imp be like, he pops in, he's helping Sonny out in a way, and he's very mischievous. It's like, I love this character. And then be like, about the mid part of the film where Sonny finally gets the love potion back from the imp, and the imp just goes gone. Because it would have been great to see him throughout the things. Maybe he helps up with here, because he's such a great character. You drop him like a bad habit in the middle of your story.
You don't even let him be an extra.
Yeah, exactly. And like, unless you count the very end with the kaleidoscope, which I don't count that because you're just like reusing animation.
Yeah.
It was so insufferably irritating when you drop a really good character, because they're going to be like, you can put him more and more into this film. Be like, did they not view this film to other people and be like, hey, the imp's actually a nice character. We want more of this character. But
I think to some degree they did, because they were going to look like they were going to leave the imp there, and then at the last minute it's like the writers decided, oh, people like the imp, let's not give him a bad ending.
Yeah,
we'll let him run off with the guys, but then you don't actually see what happens to him
no,
after that.
You don't.
So
there's other little aspects of here and there where the story kind of just goes flip, just drops little plot points, and it's like, okay. Or what was it where Marianne is, I'm saying this right, Marianne.
Yeah, Marianne.
Yeah, Marianne is be like, she's tired of love because her fiance cheated on her, and now all of a sudden she knows how to fight. She knows how to fight. There's no build up or anything. Well, there's a little training montage, a little bit, but it just comes out of nowhere.
The
It's like,
thing
okay.
is, this is my only defense.
Yeah.
We do not actually know how much time passed between the wedding and when Sonny and Dawn are conspiring.
Yes.
So time could have past enough that she
Mhm.
could have gotten pretty decent with a sword
Yeah.
if she didn't already have like some training before that point.
Yeah, but it's never,
I mean, she's royal, but so
Yeah.
I could see some.
Yeah.
But they're using the excuse of we're in a song so we can get away with time compression, and
Sure.
it's only really important. The song is conveying what's important to the story. It doesn't really matter how much time passed. I'll
That's
get
true.
more into that in a minute.
Yeah, but either or, be like it's the drop points, especially
Mhm.
when they just drop the imp. And the imp, to me, I love the imp, and I was like, why did you drop him?
Right.
It's just it was such a just like be like you're halfway through the film, and it's like the imp's gone. He never comes back. I'm like, I was crushed. I was like, but he's the best character in the movie. Why would you drop him? I was like, Lucas, what were you thinking? Anyways, so yeah, it was my first was the imp got dropped, and it was just it irritated.
I know why the imp got dropped. Because he's a donut talker like a Jar Jar Binks.
He was better than Jar Jar.
Misa, I agree with you on this.
But at least Jar Jar be like he showed up in the end and got more parts.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Poor imp is like, oh, we're done with your plot. Boop, drop.
Okay. My first dislike for this.
Okay,
Maybe connected, maybe not.
maybe.
I am in general not a fan of the jukebox musical. Granted, I do like musicals. I've
Yep.
been in a couple musicals.
Right.
I understand how musicals are written sometimes, and sometimes, yes, the songs can be used as cheats to move past a complicated story bit that you can't really get away with just dialogue.
Yes.
The problem I normally have with jukebox musicals, and this movie puts a magnifying glass on that,
does.
is that these songs were not written for the movie.
Yes.
They were written for the radio. So they are not really written for the way this goes. So
Yeah.
they will bring in a song sometimes where it's like, oh, how are they working this song in
Yes.
for this? And it's like when Roland starts starts singing Hey Marianne. Granted, I don't know the original song because that's before my time.
Yeah.
But
I recognize
it's
that.
literally there just so he can say Hey Marianne
Yeah.
to try and convince her. And then she's sing. I don't remember what song she was singing because it was kind of a back and forth thing.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. Come on, Marianne.
come on, Marianne. It kind of worked. And then she was singing. I remember she was singing a
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly
song.
Clarkson song.
What makes
What
you? Makes you
doesn't kill you
strong-
makes you stronger. And it's like, okay, George Lucas, this was not in your original list. I know it wasn't because the song didn't exist in your original list. I know it wasn't written for this movie because it came out just a couple years before this movie came out.
Mhm.
Enough that I know it wasn't written for you.
Yeah.
And
Obviously.
obviously, and it doesn't fit with that is actually the biggest problem here with this jukebox
Mhm.
musical. The songs are not written for it.
No.
And part of the way you can tell is that all the songs in this are different genres.
Yes, they are.
Completely different genres. Yes, you can have different genres in your film, but in your movie for the music, but it should feel cohesive.
Yes. Agreed.
I do not need an army of fairies marching to ba 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 ba, and you're going,
Bad romance.
that's Bad Romance.
Yeah. What the heck?
On the nose a little, are you, George?
A little.
Plus, and that's the thing is the minute you do that, it takes me out of the film.
Yes.
Now, granted, there are some jukebox musicals that actually do this very well
Yeah.
because it fits what they're going for. Moulin Rouge is the biggest one that comes to my mind,
Yeah.
but that is
It's
that
done
movie
very-
is intentionally surreal
Yeah.
enough that the fact that modern stuff is invading the film
Mhm.
makes a strange kind of sense.
It does.
This, I have no reason why, no way of understanding why any of these characters would know any of these songs.
Mhm.
I don't even know if we're in if this fairy hollow
Mhm.
where the fairy kingdom and the dark forest are. I don't know if this is like in a fantasy kingdom with, you know, like Frodo and all them running around, or Narnia, or if this is like a park, in Central Park in New York City. This could go either way, and
Agreed.
there's if and it's like if it was Central Park, I could get that. I was like, okay, I know why they know these songs.
Yeah.
Because they would have heard them
Mm-hmm.
probably incessantly.
Probably.
But because we have no idea where the optimal setting, the overall setting really is, I'm forced to go with they are singing these songs randomly, and you're expecting me to like it, you expect me to work it the same way I would a normal musical.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
This is not like Fiddler on the Roof where they're because the thing is with regular music, like Fiddler on the Roof, they are in the songs, they are expressing the thoughts going through their minds.
Yeah.
This, they're kind of just randomly going into songs that kind of sort of have something to do with the story at that time.
Yeah. Very vague connections.
Yes. I know jukebox musicals can work. I've seen it work. And I know this is probably something that doesn't mess with some people like it does me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's some people who hate the fact that it's a musical, period, because they don't understand why anyone would burst into song randomly. But this is the worst kind of jukebox musical where I never, it so takes me out of the film completely that I can't even, that I get distracted by things going on in the real world.
Yeah.
Easily.
Fair.
There were plenty of times I was looking at my phone during this movie, and it was the songs that was taking me out of it.
Yeah, agreed.
Because in most cases, they're not even doing the job that the songs and musicals are supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But that anyway. What's your second dislike?
Mine is the exact same thing. The choice in music, because they're gonna be like, you have some really, really good music in this movie. It's like, but it's just like poorly be like, it's like you have some people who can actually sing and others who can't. I think like Mary Ann.
Yeah, Mary Ann cannot sing.
She cannot sing. Be like
her rendition of Wild Thing.
Oh my god,
made me want to shut the movie
It
off.
was so cringy, so cringy. But they're gonna be like selection of music. Be like, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at a shot list of everything they use. But like, You Can't Help Falling in Love. That originally song was an Elvis Presley song, and it's just done so weirdly. It's like, what song was it? Give me a moment. It's like they select like weird country songs for our
because they were just picking love songs.
They were just picking love songs.
So of course there's country songs in there. It's like
Yeah.
half the list of what shows up in country.
Yeah. But overall, be like, it's like you're not dealing with bad songs. They are chosen poorly for different scenes, because they're gonna be like, you take Moulin Rouge and be like you're interjecting into a period piece,
right?
And it's
but
done very well because you're dealing with very capable singers. This isn't, and it's just the way maybe they arranged it, maybe the way it was performed. Most of the times, the way it's performed, it just like takes you out of the movie and gives you just kind of this whiplash. Like, what in the world are they playing this song for? And it was headache inducing in some cases. It was like you get the Bog King and he gets give me a second. I think he's got our Misery, he's got Trouble, he's got Mistreated, which are all like, classic rock songs. And I'm like, I'd be like, it's cool. He comes up, be like, every song he does, like it's a rock song from like, the like the 50s, 60s, 70s. Be like, those are great songs, but not for the Bog King. He's like, it's more telling, be like, oh, how miserable I am, be like how troubled I am. And it's like, I get that, but same time, be like, hire people to write music for your movie. and be like,
Or-
maybe reference these songs in some capacity in your songs or something like that. But write original stuff. This
Yes.
just drives me nuts. Like
I
there
have
again-
to say, I do not blame the music supervisor for this.
Yeah.
What was his name?
What I want to say
Steve Gazitsky.
because it's
Gazitsky. However you say your name.
Yeah.
Sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah.
I do not blame you for the musical choices in this. I blame George. Because the music in this seems like a George Lucas decision.
Yeah.
That kind of got bulldozed into
Yes.
the film. It's like it's like Jar Jar Binks.
yeah.
Maybe a good character, maybe you could do something interesting, but it's kind of shoved in there and you kind of get the feeling nobody really wanted him. Or just different things that you always see in a Star Wars film that just seems that's an odd choice to put in these things. It feels like that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like Star Wars: The Clone Wars being filmed out of order
Yeah.
or being released out of order, so that if you really want to understand what's going on, you have to look up on a list of the episodes in chronological order, so you can actually see the war from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Instead of just you see one episode where they're doing this thing, and then it takes 20 episodes to get to the continuation of that story.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to fill time.
Yes.
It feels like that, where he's just kind of bulldozing an idea and he likes it. Everyone just said, okay, yeah, you're George Lucas. We'll do that. Really does feel like that's how the music choices are in here were done.
Agreed. Now, granted, be like going through this, let's actually be like I can't mess up by the Four Tops. Be like, now I got that song stuck in my head. The original song,
Yeah.
not the song they were, intending to use with this film, because it's like ear piercing half the time. But yeah, the choice of music in this movie, they're again done by original amazing artists back in the day. They're great. If you haven't listened to some of these songs before, maybe it's the first time you've heard this, like go back and find them like on Apple Music or Amazon Music or something, like wherever you listen to music, be like, go find these songs and enjoy them, because they are a blast to listen to originally. But not in this movie. Not in this movie. Like there's some things that work, but then the majority it's just like, what in the world are you thinking? That's the music selection is just like baffling to me. So yeah, that's my second like.
My second dislike for this film is gonna have to be, you're gonna hate me. No, I nearly said something else. My second dislike for this film is the writing.
Okay.
This thing goes from scene to scene to scene.
It does.
And the scenes don't always feel like they're
No.
connected.
Agreed.
The main villain of this piece is Roland,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Roland is the main villain.
He is in the first half of the film and then disappears
Yes.
until the end.
Yes.
He's still there because his army is still marching to Bad Romance, but and he is physically on screen, but he's not doing anything.
Yeah, agreed. He isn't.
The imp, like we said, just disappears at one point. The Sugar Plum Fairy gets stuck in that prison cell far too much.
Yeah, agreed.
Because we see her there when Sonny's looking for it. He gets her out, she gets locked back in. You get another part where, oh yeah, I'll let you out, and then they don't. And it's not till the very end where they let her out. So it's like, I don't care about the Sugar Plum Fairy, to be honest. But if she's this powerful, there shouldn't be anything the Bog King can do to keep her locked up in there. I'm sorry. There really shouldn't be. So the logic of this film just goes right out the window. You brought up magic earlier and how the magic system in this does not work. That's because there's no logic in how this works. The magic, okay, granted, most of the magic is just stuff that happens and you're just supposed to expect. The only magic they explain is the fact that you need a primrose petal to make a love potion. The love potion is as powerful as you can get.
Yeah.
And it will affect anybody without hesitation unless they are truly in love with somebody else.
Yeah.
How did Dawn get hit by the magic potion and fall in love with Bog King?
Because her eyes were covered. Be like,
No.
no, hold on. Explain that more.
Here's my point.
Okay.
If she okay, let me explain it differently. I can see how maybe she wasn't in love with Sunny when she got hit.
Yeah.
And yet, despite the fact she is under the control of the love potion and has no way of seeing past it, and yes, maybe her heart, because of her infatuation, because of the love potion of the Bog King, and she sees the Bog King, as far as we can tell, die.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just enough of a wedge that her true self may break through and then somehow fall in love with Sunny.
Yeah. Which
doesn't make sense. There should be, she's either in love with Sunny at the beginning and doesn't realize it, in which I personally believe the love potion should not have worked on her based on the rules shown in this film.
Exactly.
Or somehow she broke the rules to fall in love with somebody else, which why would the love potion be weak enough to even let you develop a relationship enough with anybody else for it to break?
Exactly.
That does not make sense.
And there's another thing. It's like when, like, even Marianne explains, be like, oh, she's a lovesick teenager. Be like, oh, she's gonna fall in love with anybody.
You see, she's in love with, and it is definitely an infatuation type love.
Yeah, agreed.
She's not really in love with all these guys.
No.
And you can kind of tell, and granted, you can see from the beginning that Sunny is in love with her.
Yes.
So
he's a creep, though.
Well, yeah, he's an elf. No, I mean, he's obviously like the grungy guy that no one would expect a high society girl like Dawn to want to go out with.
Yeah.
And he kind of acts like the alley cat kind of a character.
He does.
So fair enough. He's an alley cat with a heart of gold.
Yeah, kind of.
Basically.
Yeah. He basically wants Sunny or Dawn to fall in love with him.
Right.
So he makes a deal with Roland, be like, oh, I'm gonna go get this potion.
But here's the point I'm getting at. Every single other person besides Dawn, Dawn's really the only one that gets to break the rule. Every other person who breaks the rule of the love potion, or that gets hit by the love potion and comes under its sway completely, as we see, she's the only one that gets to break it. The love potion is so powerful that it overrides the instincts of a wild animal to eat its prey. I am referring to the lizard who constantly at the beginning of this film is trying to eat Sunny.
Yeah.
The imp hits it with the love potion, and all of a sudden it's as friendly as can be.
Yeah.
How does that work? If it's that powerful to override the instincts to make a predator instantly fall in love with its food,
then it should automatically just.
Then why could Dawn break the spell why could Dawn break enough away from the spell to fall in love with somebody else to fully break it?
Or even Marianne, when she got, powdered with it.
Oh, by that point, she already was in love with him, and everyone knew it.
Yeah, but also be like looking at this whole thing, be like, it's so strong enough to break.
Well, that's true love.
A predator going after its prey to stop that.
But love. True love is a different emotion according to in class according to this film. The logic of this film is that true love can override the love potion. She was at that point, according to the story, truly in love with the Bog King, so the love potion can't affect her.
I agree with her.
Dawn was not in love enough with Sunny for the true love to come into play. she didn't truly fall in love with Sonny until the end of the film, when after quote unquote Bog King is killed. He's not killed, obviously,
Yeah.
but anyone looking at this would think he's dead
Yeah.
and not coming back.
Yeah.
She somehow that's if that can it can weaken the spell enough that she can then fall in love with somebody else. Sugar Plum Fairy lied.
Yeah.
If Sugar Plum Fairy even knew about it.
Yeah.
But it's never explained how that worked.
Yeah.
And that's just one logical fallacy in this. The Bog King says he destroyed all the primrose flowers
Yes.
before the film,
Mm,
yet there's one around.
yeah.
Now, granted, because of the idiocy of some of his minions,
Mm-hmm.
I could see how they'd miss one.
Mm-hmm.
But as much against love potion as he probably was,
Yes.
how on earth was there any primrose anywhere around there
Agreed.
that could have regrown enough in time? Granted, plants probably can come back a lot faster, and they could have already been a seed. And we honestly do not know how much time passed from when the love potion didn't work for him,
Right.
because the love of his life was already in love with somebody else, truly in love with somebody else, and to this point in time. But still, there's too many logical fallacies that I can't sweep under the rug.
Fair.
So yeah, that's my second dislike. Is it second dislike, or is this third? No, this is second. This is my second. That's my second dislike. Too many logical fallacies.
My third dislike is the exact same thing, because you have this magic system that does not work.
Mhm.
It's very poorly, it's explained very well, but it's broken so easily, because
Yeah.
they're like Drew just explained it so incredibly well, probably better than I can explain it. So you have you're getting all this lore set up to how the love potion works. It's the main premise of the story, the first thing we hear about in this movie. And you have if someone is dusted with they'll instantly fall in love with each other. But if that person's heart is set towards another in true love, it won't work. But then in my mind, you have Dawn, who, like Drew said, possibly does have feelings for Sonny. Thank you. Is in love with Sonny, just doesn't know it. And there again, that's kind of hard when you don't realize you're in love with somebody. Being someone who is in love, it's kind of hard not to. Because obviously, Sonny is in love with her, kind of. I think he's just more of a creep. But just the way he goes about everything, he's definitely a creep.
He is a creep, but I do think he is truly in love with Dawn. He just goes about it very creepily,
in the wrong way. But so we're set up with this whole thing of because I think just the system itself is broken, for the simple fact that we have Dawn, who, when she gets dusted by the magic, and she falls in love with the Bog King, but then we discover later that she's actually in love with Sonny. So to me, it doesn't really work. And like Drew said, we kind of that same pattern. I think if you have a fondness or a love for somebody, even when the Bog King explains it, that it's I think the system itself is broke. If they would have given more of the maybe if they could have just this is a very overpowering or something. It's just I just don't like it. I don't like it.
Mhm.
Let's just break it down to more simple terms. I don't like it. I think it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Definitely, it's broke. It's a broken system, like Drew said. So it's just broke. It's broke. It doesn't work. And there are far more capable movies that use love potions. I think Harry Potter does one far better.
Yeah.
In book 6.
When it explains what happens when you conceive a child through that mess.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's very powerful.
It's well thought out.
Yes.
And how
this isn't.
This is not.
No, this isn't.
This is more like, it's his love potion number 9. why I'm surprised we didn't hear Love Potion number 9 in this.
Yes, which I'm very surprised. And so in Love System, and kind of a caveat to that, the characters who fall in love with each other doesn't work. Because there again, is Marianne and the Bog King. But like there again, when I first
We're getting into my third dislike.
Yes, exactly. We're kind of pairing off each other, which is good for co-host.
Yes.
But when you have two characters who are falling in love with each other, be like most of the time they're not gonna have the same thing. I think a way be like it worked, but it didn't work. You have, going back to Harry Potter, you have Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. Be like, the thing was, J.K. Rowling, I said her name. If you don't like it, tough. J.K. Rowling, at first glance, be like, this is what I'm going to do. These two characters are falling in love. And so these characters are so adversarial towards each other in the entire time. But by the end of the books, they're madly in love with each other, and it doesn't make any sense to me. There again, I'm not technically I'd be like, yeah, I'm very much a harmony shipper, but I just don't think it works. Even Rowling herself said it doesn't really work. But in this movie, it doesn't work anyway, because you have two characters who are too similar. Their life experiences are crossing over each other, and they're just falling in love. They're, quote unquote, falling in love with each other because they have similar interests or similar traumas or something like that. But if it's like you're talking about a true love, but like you're talking about two characters that have some things that are very similar, like me and my fiance, we have similar things that are alike, but we had very different interests, very different perspectives on things. So with that, be like, you build with each other. You be like, you're building with each other. With these two characters, they're cross, and they're going to separate. It's if we're talking fictional love, this does not work for these two characters. Like, yeah, you can have characters who fall in love with each other, but eventually they're probably going to break up because there's no real connection there. All they have is like past experiences and their hurts and that kind of stuff, because those hurts are going to bite you in the butt. So to me, the love dynamics do not work in this movie at all. So there again, broken system. That's my third dislike.
Let me break it down for you. My third dislike for this film,
okay,
as you kind of stated, but I'm going to word it differently,
okay,
is that this film doesn't actually understand what love is.
Okay, it makes more sense.
And I have to say it that way because this is all about this movie. The entire point of this movie is to show love.
Yes.
It shows
oh my gosh,
one kind of love.
Yes.
And that is romantic love.
Yes.
Here's the thing. As you stated, and I agree, Marianne and Bog King are not going to be a marriage that lasts for a long time.
Right.
Because all they have in common is a couple of past experiences and the fact that they have been, they both went gothic or emo, basically.
Yeah, they've similar traumas in their lives.
I could see that blossoming into a friendship.
Yeah.
Because, here's a funny thing. World, guys and girls can actually just be friends.
Yeah, exactly.
With each other.
Yeah.
Friendship is not a step towards romantic and then sexual love. It does not work that way. They are different things. I am friends with Jacob's fiance, Ashley.
Yeah.
I have no fascinations at all, ever.
Thanks.
With getting to have the same type of relationship Jacob has with her.
Right.
I know that was never going to happen.
Yeah.
We're friends, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I have never felt the way about her that Jacob does.
Right.
I have a different relationship with her than Jacob does.
We all have different dynamics.
Right. And the problem is, and this is actually a problem with society in general.
Yeah, agree.
We don't understand love and assume that all love is slowly heading towards
exactly
things that are best not described on this podcast.
Exactly.
because we are a family-friendly show.
Exactly.
So here's the thing. Dawn and Sunny, they actually, I think, are closer to the romantic kind of love because they have actually had a relationship
Yeah.
that was kind of similar. I say similar in type, not in how it was acted out, as Wesley and Buttercup at the beginning of
Oh yeah.
Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Servant and kind of master, but the master is slowly falling in love with the servant, and the servant always loved her.
Yes.
They're not really master servant in either situation. It's just that's
Right.
the easiest way I can describe what's going on. One's the boss, one's the underling,
Yeah.
in a sense.
Mhm.
But that can, as time goes on, blossom into that sort of relationship, especially when a person realizes that when the character who has not been paying attention to the love blossoming between them
Yes.
suddenly realizes that the character that she is now falling in love with has been by her side and constant for years, and that he's really the person she's been looking for this whole time. That has happened.
Mm-hmm.
But so that relationship I can see. I can't see Bog King and Marianne because
no.
here's the thing. How long have they known each other? Outside of a passing from a distance, like political, professional kind of a relationship. Because I'm assuming Marianne, technically being the princess of this kingdom, has probably been a part of diplomatic functions that would have included the Bog King.
Yeah, very antagonistic.
Right. They have a professional relationship at best before this, and because they happen to empathize with each other, according to this film, that means they're falling in love.
Yeah, agreed. It doesn't work that way.
Sure, I can say they're falling in love, but the love I'm referring to here is not romantic love. It's friendship. It's commiseration over how crappy their lives, events in their lives have been.
Exactly.
You know, it's a funny thing. Friendship, love, the love of friends is a thing that happens. This film acts like it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because how many actual friends do we see in here?
Not many.
The closest, most of the friends that we see in here, they're also have other relationship. Dawn and Marianne are technically friends. They're also sisters.
Yeah,
they have a sisterly love.
Yeah, it's
between the two.
love. Yeah,
that familial love.
Familial
That's what
love.
you said.
Yeah, familial.
So they get that part.
Yeah,
They get the father daughter relationship
they get
down.
dynamic,
They get
right.
the mother son relationship down pretty well, but they're not thinking of those as love when they are.
Yeah.
Because in their minds, love is romance.
Yeah.
Love is what you do to get to wedding.
Agreed.
That's not love.
No, it's not.
If that is love, you will get divorced.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you will not be able to live with that person after a while. I am saying this as a single man who has never been on a date.
Yeah, because
I know this, and I've not even been in a situation where I can use this knowledge.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like when you, because using that dynamic to be like, oh, because they have some kind of connection, that means they're in love with each other. That means this X, Y, Z. That doesn't mean that.
It may mean friendship, at least. It does not mean romance,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
certainly doesn't mean it should go farther than romance.
Exactly. So there again, we have this culture that is so heightened on. It's like, oh, these two characters, these people have a connection. Oh, they must be in love. Oh, they must be doing this. Oh, they must be, wanting to get married or, whatever.
I really feel like this was written by people who, hey, Grant, the Bog King and Marianne relationship
Yes.
feels like it's supposed to be similar to the Sam Diane relationship from Cheers.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. It doesn't match that relationship in the slightest.
No, it doesn't.
Because Sam and Diane were polar opposites who worked together for years and actually were closer to Dawn and Sunny
Yeah, agreed.
than they were Bog King and Marianne. They are just angry, and then they find someone who finally understands their thought, and
Yeah.
they think, oh, that means it's true love.
Yeah.
No.
No. Oh my gosh.
No, they are friends at best. And yes, by that logic, I do mean Marianne should have been underneath the control of the love spell at the end of this,
Exactly.
because I say that because I'm calling all this love,
Yeah.
because it's different kinds of love. And yes, the other part about this, logically, it doesn't say what kind of love breaks the love potion.
Yeah. It says true love.
It just says true love.
Yeah.
You know who had true love? Elsa and Anna in Frozen.
Yeah, because they're sisters.
They're sisters.
They love each other that much.
Yes. And I would like to quote a line from that movie to explain why this relationship is not going to work between Bog King and Marianne.
Mm-hmm.
You can't marry somebody you just met.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Queen Elsa.
So here's an
And
example.
you thought Frozen wasn't good for anything.
Exactly. So here's a spectrum from me for a guy who's now engaged with the woman that I love to death. Because there again, be like, according to Ashley, my fiance, be like, she knew I was the one, years before, because apparently women have that instinct. There again, I'm a guy, I don't understand that. Because for me, it took a couple of months. It took like 6, 7, 8 months for me to understand, or to come to that point that I'm falling in love with this woman.
Mm-hmm.
Because be like, it takes that kind of time, dedication, to get to know somebody, work through your own issues, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I do that. Be like, by a year, I realized I was in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
So there again, some people be like, it takes a couple of months. It takes a couple of months.
I mean, by the time you finally made that decision, we were both saying, well, you just announced you're a couple already.
Yeah.
I nearly broke your trust by saying it on the show before it started, and we had to backtrack.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
That, and because you hadn't officially come to this decision yet.
No, like there again.
And yeah, the minute you said, I offered to give you a ride to the bowling alley with the rest of the singles group, and you said, oh, I'm riding with Ashley, my first thought was, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They're dating, aren't they? But I'm seeing it from the outside.
Exactly.
I was seeing it from the outside.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand why you may not have seen it.
Because they're gonna be like, for me, like I take my time with things. Be like, I marinate over things, I pray over it, and that kind of stuff.
Which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing, because they're you don't want to jump into something you be like you don't fully understand, and you want to have the full knowledge and weight of everything, what you're doing, the magnification of it. So with these two characters, like you quoted from Frozen, it's like you can't just fall in love with, in this case, like, the course of a night. Like,
yes,
that doesn't work. Like, yeah, but like you see it in Hollywood all the time, but it doesn't really work if you take it down to its brass tacks. And that's not the way this works.
And
it's not any of this works.
And I would like to point out that all this being George Lucas's idea, George Lucas is a divorced man.
Yeah,
he doesn't understand love enough to even keep his marriage going permanently.
Yeah. Well, he is remarried now.
He is remarried, yes, but not to the woman he was married to before.
No.
But and so maybe he is in a better spot now.
Yeah.
But if he thinks you can just come to a relationship like this, if this is how maybe he met his first wife, I'm guessing, I don't know, George, forgive me for making assumptions. Maybe that's why it made sense that this would work. I don't know. This is puppy love.
At most, yes.
And puppy love doesn't stick normally unless it is able to grow.
Oh my God.
This movie has not given time for any love to actually grow between characters.
Yes.
Dawn and Sunny are the closest, and the only reason that works is he's been in love with her for a long time, and she's been too infatuated with every other boy, every other high school boy, in her fairy high school to see the love of her life is right next to her. That's a common enough thing. I can accept it on her. I can accept it in this time period. I can't see the fact that two people who didn't really know each other, if they had ever met at all, in one night could make this go from, oh yeah, I'm marrying, I have so much true love for you that a magic potion can't affect it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Back to the logic part of this.
Yes.
If they end up breaking up later, will the magic potion then affect her?
Yeah, which is weird.
Or him?
That is true.
We don't know. Because true love may be more powerful than the potion.
Yeah.
But is it really true love if you're not really in love?
Yeah.
Or you're just in fact. How do we know what between her and Bog King is not really just infatuation?
Yeah, exactly.
The same infatuation her sister was going through with every other boy on that in the
because
that thing.
because they have a common interest and common trauma does not mean they're supposed to fall in love with each other.
I agree.
Yeah, because there again, that kind of stuff can bring people together and be like, and some ways it can be twisted as be like, oh, I'm falling in love with her, I'm falling in love with him, but
I mean,
it's in a real life situation that would be okay. These two,
I mean,
become a couple for a couple of months, and they realize they really don't work together.
I mean, I really don't know what I expected from the guy who wrote the love story between Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala. Granted, I think this one was better than that one, but
yeah, true.
Let's face it, I like Attack of the Clones for what Obi-Wan was doing, not what Anakin was doing.
That is true. It's like sand.
Anakin was saying such great quotes as, I hate sand, it's coarse, it's rough, and it gets everywhere.
Nice job. It's like, yeah, because Padme totally fell in love with him because that quote. Because that line.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Jacob, what are you rating?
I'm throwing it back at you. What's yours?
2.5.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's getting every single bonus that this has gotten is from the animation.
Yeah.
And from character designs.
Yeah.
Some of them don't work as well as I'd like, but
okay.
a lot of them
okay.
do work. And that's why it's gotten up to 2.5. If I'm breaking it down, that 2.5 if we're just talking about character and animation, character designs and animation, the art of this, that's a 10. Okay? Maybe an 8. We'll be fair. An 8. But everything else that goes into the making of a film is just not there.
Okay, fair.
This would not be fixed with a live action version. It's got this, it's doing good. It's only as good as it is because of the animation. It's the only thing propping this movie up in any way.
Fair.
2.5 is what I'm rating this thing.
I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, because there again, animation is done incredibly well. There are some scenes that work. I love the imp. I love the general concept of a lot of things, but it's all executed poorly. There again, the romantic program, the system of how they describe love doesn't work. The magical system doesn't work very well. Because there again, I think this script could have used another pass or two to flesh the story out a little bit more and actually make you want to actually root for these characters instead of be like this puppy dog love. Oh, we have common interest in trauma. Oh yeah, we're definitely meant for each other. No, that's not the way this works. Love does not work that way. Love is very much, you're willing to die for each other. These characters are not willing to die for each other. This is be like puppy love, teenage love in a nutshell that does not work. Now, granted, I've seen relationships where two people fell in love when they were in middle school and they're happily married now with kids and careers and the whole bit. Now, granted, this was a relationship took years and years to work, that to where they are now.
Yeah.
Not a fortnight.
And we don't mean the game.
No, we don't mean a fortnight. Just the course of a moon setting. Yeah, these characters are in love. Like, just the dynamics don't work and everything. So yeah, it's a 4. Be like it's a 4 because the animation and a lot of the cerebral. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, close enough.
Cerebral things that are going on around it, but everything else doesn't work. So yeah, it's a 4.
All right, that brings us to the end of this movie.
Yes.
Next month is Halloween. Spooky month.
Yeah, spooky month.
We never really came up with a name besides Halloween.
It's Halloween month or spooky
pretty
month.
much.
Yeah.
And we are staying in the realm of Disney, technically, but going back to the classics.
Yeah, very much classic. I threw this one on here. It was like, ooh, I wasn't.
Now, granted, only half of this is a horror film.
Yeah.
This is a spooky film.
Yes.
That being the Headless Horseman
Yes.
half. Yeah.
Yes.
The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Yeah.
I know both of these stories,
Yes.
but I don't remember what Mr. Toad's half is about.
I don't know either.
So we will find out. Probably, much like we did with Fantasia, we'll probably review both like semi-separately.
maybe.
We'll discuss that after the fact. But
Yeah.
yeah, join us next week for that.
Mhm.
In the meantime, we're going to jump into the intermission. On the other side, we will talk about what we've been watching. Hang on, I should have. No, I'll be able to spot that. On the other side, we'll be talking about what we've been watching, the news, a little bit of X-Men.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
Sorry, this week we are suggesting that you go check out the Retro Rewind podcast. On the every other week, you can join the Retro Rewind podcast as we travel back 15 or more years along the entertainment space-time continuum in their mission to review movies and games, assuming they can ever escape whatever it is Jared's doing to them now, establishing what is still worth your time today. Enjoy fun banter and trivial insights from Francisco Paul and a rotating group of guest hosts who are all out of time.
Hi, Roy.
Cellcast also would like to thank the following patrons: Ashley and Francisco Ruiz, Roy, PaulJPowers.com, and Book of Gaming. If you want your name read on the show, uncut episodes of the podcast, plus special art from Jacob, please donate to us on Patreon. All right, Jacob, I've got a question for you.
What have you been watching?
Okay. So, what have I been watching? So, yesterday, or correction, early this morning, we record on a Friday.
Yes.
So, I kept hearing about this new show that's coming out on Netflix.
Oh, you better not be talking about it because I hadn't caught up to it yet.
Okay.
Because I know you don't care about continuity and keeping up with stories. So I know what you're about to talk about, and I'm 3 episodes from being able to get into it.
Okay, never mind.
I'm assuming Power Rangers Cosmic Fury.
Yes. So, I mean, like, I watched the first episode. I was just generally curious. Because there again, 30 years of Power Rangers.
Yes.
And I, grew up watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and watched quite a bit of it. And I think the last time I really watched anything of Power Rangers was I think it was Dino Thunder, I think.
Well, if you don't count Once and Always.
Yeah, Once and Always was interesting. I watched it. And
Which I don't think I ever released that episode.
What? Get on it, dude. You got a weekend.
That probably will get released this week since it's.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
That show's out, so.
Yeah, it's been out.
No, I mean, now that Cosmic Fury is out, that kind of works with it.
Fury. So yeah, I watched it. I'm not going to say anything because for the sake of my friend, I'm not going to because it sounded like if I said anything, I'm going to die.
No, you're not going to die. I know of, I don't know of anything that goes into Cosmic Fury. It's just, I literally just found out, or just got to the episode where we found out what the Pink Ranger in Dino Fury has been, who's I know the Red Ranger now in Cosmic Fury.
Yeah.
What her actual heritage is.
Yeah.
Well, we actually not take that back. We don't know what her heritage is. We just know that technically her parents were aliens. We just found that out. I haven't got to the episode where they say. I mean, I can kind of guess.
Yeah.
Considering the show, what race of aliens they are.
Yeah.
Especially since they actually showed her doing the same thing the other 2 aliens on the team did.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I have a feeling I know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
But until we get there.
Okay. All I'm going to say, it was interesting. I was going to say.
Yes, I know Billy's on the show.
Yes, I know that.
Okay.
I'm going to say it was interesting.
I know Zed's on the show too.
Zed's there.
And I know now he's being voiced by Fred Tatasciore.
Who is that?
Shax on Lower Decks.
Oh, okay. be like, listening to that voice would be like, it's like, oh, okay, that makes more.
Who is not the person who voiced him during Dino Fury
no,
when Zed showed up there.
right?
Because that Zed has a little bit higher voice than he should.
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
I mean, granted, Robert Axelrod, the original voice of Zed, has sadly passed.
yes,
And it's hard to replace that voice
yes,
for Lord Zed.
Mhm.
But
yes, but let's like, I found it interesting. So I'm not going to go into details because there again, my friend hasn't got into it yet. But
by the time you hear this episode, if you're on the listening to the podcast part of it,
Mhm.
we'll probably already have it finished. But at the
Probably.
moment, I will talk
Probably.
more about my thoughts on Cosmic Fury next episode.
Probably. But so I watched that this morning. I found myself as like I got to work a little later than I would want. So I was like, okay, that was interesting. So this afternoon got home after getting a few things done, trying to get some things done on a time period. Unfortunately wasn't able to get said thing done the exact same time because I didn't calculate a certain business closing at a certain hour.
Happens.
So yeah, it does happen. So I get home and I've been watching 9/11 a day in America is on Disney Plus, and oh my gosh, this is so good. It's basically the events of 9/11 and like it's talking with survivors, talking with firefighters, EMS, and like even a Marine or two who were there who were trying to help people. And it's real. Oh my gosh, it's so moving. And they're going to be like, if you were not born in that time period, you did not experience it, I would highly recommend showing your kids this. It is it's graphic, it's got language, it deals with sensitive material, but it's something that the younger generation needs to know. Not just be like you learned it in a school book. Be like, actually watch it because it'll make you cry. There was one point where I was watching it. It was the event where the second tower or the first tower that got hit finally fell, and this fire group or this company of firemen were escorting a woman down the stairs, and they got to like the second, third floor when the towers fell, and their little stairwell wasn't intact. And it really heartwarming because they were able to get her out and try to be like, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. And so they get done with everything. They don't know if she actually made it or not. She did, and they were united. It was the whole great. And the point that got me the most is that this woman, she passed away 6 years later after 9/11, and that company were her pallbearers. I was just like, I was moved. I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. But yeah, just like the story of 9/11, if you were not born in that era, go watch this for your own education, for your own historical understanding of what went through. Because for people like me, people like Drew, we remember where we were. We were in high school. Be like, you can ask the generation before us where they were when like JFK got assassinated or when Challenger blew up or something like that. Be like, it's those monumental
or Columbia for that matter.
Or Columbia blew up.
I know where I was.
Yeah.
I was dead asleep.
Yeah,
and it did not wake me up.
It woke me up.
Well, granted, it was more over you than it was over me. So
True. I literally thought it's like, oh my gosh, either be like that was a bomb or a shuttle blew up. It was the latter. But yeah, it's one of those like defining moments in a generation. And I'm kind of afraid that later on people are going to politicize it too much to be like this XYZ, and people need to learn their history, because if you don't, you're doomed to repeat it. So yeah, learn your history, people. I'm almost done with this. It's beautiful. It's so well done. And props to National Geographic who did this a couple of years ago. And yeah, go watch, because if you don't know about 9/11, all you know is what people have told you. Go watch it. It's gut-wrenching because you need to learn it. So yeah, that's my little history rant for the day. So yeah, that is all I've been watching.
That's all you watched all week?
Yeah, because I had no time in between, far as I knew. Well, unless you're remembering something, I don't remember.
No, I don't. I was just thinking it. Well, I've had weeks like that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
fair.
Yeah.
What I've been watching this
Yeah.
week, as I mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
I've been watching Power Rangers Dino Fury.
Of course.
At the beginning of this week, I was on episode 4.
Ah.
I was in the middle. I was debating, can I watch episode 20 before you get over here? And then you knocked on the door. In fact, episode 20 of season 2 was playing because it was autoplay, and I hadn't decided if I was going to let it go or
Yeah.
not. I kind of was
That's
just
what I
watching
heard.
till you showed up.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, and Jacob's here. Okay. Open the door, shut the PlayStation off, get ready to finally, and everything's all set up to record.
So that brought up the question. It was like, what in the world was he watching when I walked in? It was like, oh, okay, he was watching Dino
I was
Thunder.
watching Fury.
Dino Fury.
Dino
Sorry.
Thunder is a different show.
That is true.
Uh,
Too many Dino
it is a-
shows in this. Too
four,
many Dino
only
shows.
4.
Only 4.
Mighty Morphin season 1,
Yeah.
Dino Thunder, Dino Charge,
Yeah.
Dino Fury.
Yeah.
4.
Okay. 4.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So that reminds me, just like really quick, is be like I sent him an Instagram reel that I saw like a couple of months ago. Because
Mhm.
be like, they're doing Cosmic Fury and the whole bit. So apparently someone created a reel where they use the original Sentai footage for what would have been Cosmic Fury. And it is, the way they dub it is absolutely hysterical.
Yeah, because Cosmic Fury is not using the suits from the show they
No.
are technically adapting.
Yeah. They only want your swords. What am I, what am I not cosmic enough? What am I not fury enough?
Oh,
Love it. Love it. That one. I love
I
it.
have not watched the Sentai it's based on, but it's one I want to.
Okay.
Because
it looks really
from the beginning, 9 Rangers.
9?
9.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's the primary reason they did not adapt the suits. Because
see why.
they only had 10 episodes. You can't do a story with 9 people in 10 episodes.
No.
9 main characters.
Definitely in this writing
There's
style.
going to be 6.
Yeah.
7. Sorry. 7. I forget. Because they added one to the Dino Fury team.
Gotcha. Anyways.
Anyway. What else have I been watching?
Yeah. What game have you played this week?
What the other thing I watched a Riff Tracks Sketchfest thing.
Yes.
I did not include that in the 200 movie thing we're doing.
Okay. Yeah.
Mainly because the more I thought about it, the more I was thinking, that's not really in the spirit of the competition.
Fair.
I mean, he did specifically nix documentaries, I'm assuming because they're not really movies,
Yeah.
but docudramas would be allowed, I assume. But at the same time, and this does not really have a story,
Yeah.
because it was literally just a bunch of shorts that they reacted to.
True.
One of them, I am curious if your girlfriend ever watched it and what she would think about it, because it's literally how to set up a kindergarten room.
Oh.
And it is the most in-depth, point for point. It's like, you don't need this as a training, as a training film.
Right.
How in depth they're going into this.
Right.
And it is dull. It's literally called setting up a room. They had to split it into 2 parts
Wow.
for showing it. So but there's other couple little things like in that one, like The Adventures of Safety Woman, because a lot of these are PSAs, these short films, and this was a short film of just basically about kids being safe.
Gotcha.
But they had to create a superhero to tell this story. So Safety Woman. There was another one that was like a black and white safety film where literally kids were dying, like brutal deaths that they were showing, and like this,
Wow.
and you're showing this to kids.
Yeah.
It's like, at some point it goes from being like shocking to just being funny. You know,
Fair.
it gets to that point. It goes from being, why would you show kids? How did you convince kids to do this and not actually? You know, I'm assuming the kids aren't actually hurt.
Yeah,
but it's like, but at some point it goes from being that is horrible to that's hilarious. You just get so desensitized to it that quick.
Wow.
So yeah. Other than that thing, when I was over at Chase's, we watched some more of the what is the name of that show? It's an isekai one about a healer that he's the only healer that's not a complete and total jerk.
Got it.
It almost seems like the writer of this one had been fairly hurt by the health system and insurance and stuff like that, and was trying to show his was trying to show his hatred of it by showing truthfully how these healer people are by satirizing it. He was just trying to satirize our current healthcare system, but in fantasy form.
Interesting.
It was interesting. It's an interesting show. And I think that's pretty much what I've been watching, because playing wise, I've just kind of been bouncing around different games. And I'm not really stuck with anything. I can tell you next week I will be playing Final Fantasy 14. I'll tell you that right now. But other than that,
got it.
What do we got in the news?
The Cellcast News with your host Jacob Heron.
Why, thank you, Deedlit. And going into the news, so DreamWorks Animation announced today on September 28th that is adapting, I'm probably going to butcher this name. Let's just skip that. Peter Brown's New York bestseller, The Wild Robot, into an animated theatrical feature. Let's see, 3-time Academy Award nominee Chris Sanders is adapting the screenplay and will direct. Jeff Hartman is set to produce, and Dean DeBolos, I'm probably butchering, as exclusive producer. Another bit of news: Walt Disney Animation Studios shares the first trailer poster image that morning for its 100th anniversary year musical comedy Wish, which is opening in U.S. theaters starting on November 22nd. So that's all I have for in news. Unless you have something else, sir.
I do not.
Okay.
Have I mentioned that Spy Family is coming out next, not tomorrow, but next Saturday?
No, you haven't.
Okay. Season 2 starting October, what is it, October 7th?
Yeah.
October 7th.
Mm-hmm. Which I know you're excited about that.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. Yeah. I am debating whether or not to read the 3 volumes over there of the manga that I have that before I watch the anime. Probably won't.
I gotcha.
Because that's a good show. I enjoy that show. I don't know when how they're going to work in an ending for this. If it's going to be where we can work this into the show, but we may do parts. We may have to do like at least some of this show on TAS at some point.
Okay.
I don't know how exactly that's going to work, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
The day we are recording this, September 29th, 2023, is the end of an era. Today, Netflix mailed its final DVD.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They are a full streaming company now.
Really?
Yeah.
That is interesting. All right. So, yeah, that's all the news.
All right. So then I guess it's time for X-Men.
Yeah.
Previously on X-Men.
Meet a sulky, over-bulky, kinda hulky superhero. A two-fisted and electrically transistored superhero. An exotically erotic and aquatic superhero. The Marvel superheroes have arrived. X-Men, X-Men, it's the day, X-Men, X-Men, coming your way.
Spider-Man and his amazing friends, Iceman and Firestar.
Beyond Good and Evil, Parts 1 and 2 originally aired on September 4th, 1995 and November 11th, 1995, respectively. They're directed by Larry Houston and Fred Miller and written by Steve Cuden and Jan Strnad. Strnad. Strnad.
That's probably
Don't give me the line.
True.
In these episodes, in the year 3999, Apocalypse steals Cable's computer and time travels to the past in order to end his struggle against inferior mutants permanently. The next phase of Apocalypse's plan begins. He targets and abducts the most powerful psychics in the universe. Guest characters for this one, and boy, are there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Philip Aiken as Bishop, Lawrence Bain as Cable, Chris Britton as Mr. Sinister, John Colicos as Apocalypse, Dan Hennessy as Ruckus, Stephen Wamett as Bender and Archangel, Mark Strange as Forge, Kay Tremblay as Shard, Rod Wilson as Gorgeous George, Jennifer Dale as Mystique, Richard Epcar as Gladiator, Don Franks as Sabretooth, George Murner as Magneto.
I am Magneto, master of magnet.
Camilla Scott as Lalandra, and lastly, Tasha Sims as Psylocke. Getting into the trivia for these two episodes. The license plate of the wedding car reads Slim. Cyclops' nickname, apparently.
Oh, that makes sense.
I don't know who calls him that, but okay. Beast quotes from dramatist John Ford's The Broken Heart and composer Gilbert and Sullivan's The Mikado in this. This is the first aired X-Men episode of season 4 to feature speaking appearances for every member of the X-Men. None of the X-Men, however, wear their usual costumes.
True.
Professor Xavier mentions that Scott and Jean were his first two students.
Is that
Maybe
correct?
in this universe? Because in the original X-Men comic, Jean was just joining the X-Men, and already on the team were Cyclops, Archangel, Iceman, Beast, before he got blue fur.
Bluey.
And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just putting that out there.
Gotcha.
This is the episode has the debut of Psylocke and her regular name being Elizabeth Betsy Braddock. Magneto voice in this episode. He was played actually by George Murner. After spotting Archangel, Shard indicates that he will one day join the X-Men. Because Archangel's story is being reversed in this continuity.
Yeah. Because it's the fact be like, you look at the flashbacks, there's Angel, but because they're going to be like
same character
it's the same
as Archangel. We saw him when Apocalypse turned him into Archangel.
Yeah, exactly. So why in the world do they play? Because we see in flashbacks, even in this freaking season, where Archangel is obviously an X-Man, but
well, in all fairness, Shard does say he will join the X-Men, or he will be. He is one of the. He'll be one of the X-Men, but who is he working for now?
True.
And granted, he was not Archangel until after his deal with Apocalypse. So, I mean, kind of that makes sense because he was Angel before that.
True.
Although he does wear his Angel outfit in this, except he still has this blue skin from Archangel. So, and his strange metallic wings that kind of just sit on his back like a backpack.
Yeah.
In this. But, yeah, anyway, what are your thoughts on this episode? These episodes.
There again, we get into the triangle between Wolverine, Scott, and Jean Grey.
Yes.
And you get where Wolverine obviously he's bummed out, be like he's kind of like he's the he
is in love with Jean.
He is in love with Jean. Agreed. He is in love with Jean. And you get Bishop. It gets thrown into this like temporal, well, I want to call it a temporal loop, but it's not.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's like a junction point.
Right. And this character Bender is there.
Gosh, Bender.
And I'm like, what is with this dude?
I keep thinking, was he voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait?
Maybe
that's what it sounds like.
I'm sorry. When you tell me Bender, I'm thinking the one from Futurama who wants you to bite his shiny metal posterior.
Yeah. But I mean, like, yeah, you have some like interesting characters. You're not introduced to Bishop's sister, but she's brought back into the story, and she has a bigger role this time.
Yeah, because she hasn't had a big role in the show before.
Yeah,
she's just been in the background.
Yeah, the time travel elements are pretty interesting. There again, it's 90s time travel, so it's always gonna be weird. And the forward of this is like, oh, we're gonna remind you again what Bishop did in the first time he showed up, the save a younger Xavier that would change.
No, not the first. Oh yeah, Bishop. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Bishop.
I was thinking Cable. It's like no. First time Cable showed up was randomly on Slave Island.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
that is weird because they go back.
They retconned him.
Yeah, they retcon him. It's like, okay, who is he? Because they're gonna like even that same season they mentioned like, oh yeah, that's Cable. But what is he coming from the future for? He was a wild man from Borneo the last time we saw him.
I really, really hope if this is not explained before the end of this show, that it's one of the things that they prioritized in '97 to say why Cable why there are two different versions of Cable.
Exactly. But overall, I enjoyed it because there again, you get Wolverine be like, "Where's Jean?" the entire time. It's hilarious.
Well, and, I did like that at the beginning before she gets captured. He as they're at the wedding reception, he cuts the cake with his claw.
That was great. It hands to Scott.
He says, "If you don't make her happy, you'll hear from me." It's like, well, at least that's probably the nicest thing Wolverine could say in that moment.
Yeah, definitely to Scott.
Yeah, but still, kudos for actually showing up and not being a angry spoil sport sulking sulking back in the danger room like he was last time.
Which I was very surprised he was even there in the first place. It was like, okay, but because it would make more sense he wouldn't show up because he's so just like. Be like, I'm in love with Jean. Why is she marrying this, bespectacled dork? So
I just realized we never saw what happened to Madeline Pryor after she showed up in the series. She got disappeared like a hot plate.
Wait a minute.
Dark Phoenix Saga.
Oh,
that's when they did the Madeline Pryor thing with her.
Oh,
and technically it's him and Madeline Pryor that are the parents of
of Cable. That's right.
and all Madeline Pryor is a clone of Jean Grey.
Right. By Sinister.
And they dropped that plot like a hot potato.
Yeah, because that would have been interesting. Like Jean goes back, it's like, wait, be like, then who's this?
Once again, X-Men 97.
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah, explain something, please. But
fix your plot holes.
Yes,
that Saban was obviously not going to.
Yes, but I enjoy it. Be like, you get the Apocalypse story where it's kind of silly. It's like it's the silly plot where Apocalypse knows that Cable and his compatriots are coming for him, and he steals his time machine, or he steals his computer, which is his time machine, and his gimmick where he can figure out everything out. What kind of device is that? It's like it gives you the ability to do everything.
Deus Ex Machina?
Yeah, kind of a Deus Ex Machina kind of device.
Yeah,
where he can just do everything. And it's
it does what the plot requires.
There we go. There we go.
Like the time travel in this show.
Yeah, exactly.
It just does what the plot requires it to.
Exactly.
Or like hyperdrive in Star Wars. It travels at the speed of plot.
True.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's just not get into Rise of Skywalker on that one.
That's not even what I was referring to.
But I enjoyed it. You get episode 1 where it's like, oh, okay. Then you get, Jean is kidnapped. Don't know where she's gone. Sinister makes us be like, it's like, oh, she's gone into a place and some so and so such a vague way that kind of tells it somewhere in time. And then you get in this episode 2 and it's more expounded upon what Apocalypse is doing, and he's gathering all these villains to help, including Magneto, who apparently what we thought that he's just gonna be a good guy. Nope, he's still a villain.
No. I never said that he became a good guy. I said the only times he actually fought the X-Men are in those 2 episodes. The rest of the time he's just another character.
Yeah.
He does not do any other quote unquote act as the villain from that point forward. And literally he isn't here either.
Yeah. He's literally doing because like what Apocalypse says, like I can was it Sinister or Apocalypse he's talking to? I can't remember which. But talking about like reuniting with his long lost love.
I don't remember if it was Sinister Apocalypse because it depends on who they decided to draw this time.
That is true.
Because they have this. I still don't know why. I know why Sinister is working for Apocalypse, but literally whoever they decide to be the quote unquote face of the story of the villain story seems to depend on which artist decided to draw a character.
Yeah,
whether it's Sinister or Apocalypse. Yes, Apocalypse is the head guy behind this, but for a lot of us, it's like, I'm Mr. Sinister and I'm being evil. Why are you being evil? Because I'm working for Apocalypse. Why are you working for Apocalypse? He said he'd give me he'd give me what I wanted. Well, you're not immortal. It's like, here it doesn't matter. What do you mean? Because I am Apocalypse and this is the center of time. The time dimension. I'm sorry. This is the time dimension. And I'm going, what time travel theory does there a dimension called the time dimension? This is Power Rangers logic.
That is true. That is so true. And here's another thing.
This is the only time they've used Power Rangers logic in this show. This is Jason. This is Rita's dark dimension. That's basically what this is.
Fair. So
Jason and Goldar are fighting just 2 rooms over.
So here's the thing. Be like, you're watching this first episode, and like most of the episode, it's just like, what in the world is wrong with this animation? The animation is so funky, and like it's got like a funky monkey on its back. How weird it be, like it's very animated, very oddly. It's like, okay, are we in the 5th season or the 4th season here, people?
It aired as part of the 4th originally. It's the 4th in ours, but I suspect They were in the transitionary period
I would
because
think so.
probably, well, we always say the 5th season is where they went to the cheaper animation studio. I'm beginning to wonder if that's just the easy way to mark the transition and whether or not they got started before this point. Because good night, Magneto has super bushy white eyebrows in this that he's never had before. You can see his eyebrows in underneath the helmet and anytime we've seen him in the past.
Yeah.
Why can we see it now? And it's weird things like that. It's like the season 5 episodes we have already reviewed because of when they pop up chronologically. And it's like the weird animation choices that just crop up here because it's like the animation studio doesn't care and they're doing it cheaply.
Yes.
I don't know if this is the same, if this is still the same animators, but it didn't feel like it is.
Yeah, it's just like the animation feels a little bit off, but no, like overall the story is pretty good. What we gotten so far, I'm curious of where it's going to conclude because there again, Apocalypse is gathering powerful psychics.
And it really does feel like this is the series finale, not series finale.
Yeah.
Because they're bringing in every villain that we've had so far. The only thing we're missing is the Hellfire Club.
Yeah.
Because we have, Sabretooth's son.
Oh, yeah.
Sabretooth is here, but his son's not. And it's like, well, he's a villain too. You might as well bring him in, have the Friends of Humanity attack for no apparent reason.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know how you're going to get them to the time dimension, but
yeah, and why would they work with Apocalypse? He's a mutant. Is he going to pay them a lot of money?
Dude, Graydon Creed Jr., whatever his name is so stupid.
Oh yeah, he is
so hypocritical.
Agreed.
That he would do it.
Yeah,
if
agreed.
it would get if Apocalypse is, I will kill every mutant if you help me. But aren't you a mutant? No, but I'm an alien. I'm an alien mutant. That's different. No, except he's not an alien mutant either. He's ancient Egyptian.
Yeah, he's ancient spirits of evil.
Yes. The true enemy of the modern world, ancient Egypt.
Don't say that too loud. Stops is going out of your butt.
I was just reminded of. I used to watch a YouTuber. He wasn't a YouTuber actually, because this is when everyone was still trying to do their video stuff on other stuff before they finally all gave up and went to YouTube. It was a guy. The name is Linkara. He did this series called Atop the Fourth Wall, where he reviewed bad comics.
Oh yeah, I know who this is.
And he had a common, because of the common plots of 90s comics about ancient Egypt, he had this common trope where it's like, of course, it was ancient Egypt, and then it shows the pyramids, and you hear the Imperial March. Dun 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 dun, and that's just what plays in my mind.
I got
now,
you.
Because that's what Apocalypse has to be from ancient Egypt, apparently.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
he's hiding in the pyramid. I knew you were coming, Bishop.
The entire time. Cable.
I'm sorry.
Wrong time traveler.
Can you blame me? There's
you can't.
There's a lot of similarities.
That is true
between these two guys. I'm surprised Cable doesn't have an M carved into his face.
Well, he's got a mark on his face. I know
He's got other issues.
Yeah, exactly. I'm Cable. I'm from the future.
And I'm the wild man from Borneo. Which Cable are we dealing with? You'll never know.
No.
Pops up on the bottom, Cable's future, $39.99. It's like, oh, that one.
Yeah, that one. It's like maybe it's like a distant part of himself who went into the past and just went crazy and forgot he was a time traveler.
Hey, that techno virus, whatever it's called, that is his thing.
Yeah,
that is why he got sent to the future. I think I don't remember why he got sent to the future in the first place, because technically he was in the comics. He was born to Madeline Pryor in the normal day, then got sent in the future for some reason and came back with this techno virus that was attacking everybody.
Well, I like it was something to do with Apocalypse, obviously,
because it's Apocalypse.
Yeah. because Apocalypse likes to mess with the the Summers gene grade
I'm just saying
genetics.
I'm just saying it will be a horrible day when Apocalypse and Thanos decide to work together.
Oh gosh,
because they're the same character.
They are the same character. But I did enjoy that they brought in Psylocke as like they kind of just Ninja Girl. It's Psylocke. We know
We
this.
all knew it was Psylocke.
We all knew it was Psylocke. And they're gonna be like, young boys see me like, oh, she's kind of cute.
Psylocke.
Oh my gosh!
Granted, the only thing that would be better was Snow. What? Frost. What's her name? Emma Frost.
Emma Frost.
I literally had someone describe Emma Frost as that character you bought X-Men comics for to see how naked they'd get her this week.
This month. Oh my gosh!
It was the 90s, guys.
Agreed.
They were not making it for kids, but kids who were reading it because the adults buying it, who it was being made for, were putting them in plastic bags and not reading them, trying to pay their way through college.
Yeah.
And failed miserably because if it's not rare, it ain't worth nothing.
Very true.
But 90s era comic book makers.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, be like, this was a good set of episodes. I'm looking forward to the next set of episodes. And so, yeah,
to finish off what feels like a series finale, even though
it's not
even the season finale of this season.
True.
I was half surprised none of these ended with a cheap fire graphic or something.
Oh gosh,
that would painfully make. By this time, I was like, oh, you should be using word art. But anyway,
yes.
You have anything else for we cut out?
No.
Of here? Next week, of course, parts 3 and 4 of Beyond Good and Evil, along with Ichabod and Mr. Toad, who are beyond good and evil. I don't know. I'm joking at this point. In the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame. You're beyond good and evil.
You can follow Jacob on his Facebook at Jacob B. Heron. His Facebook page, Jacob's Daily Art Corner, where he tries to draw each and every day. His Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. His Twitter at Jacob Heron.
And his letterboxd at Jacob Heron. You can find Drew on Facebook at Drew Dodgen.
His Facebook page, Drew's Photo Bin, to see his photography. His letterboxd page at GGeorge759. His Twitter at GGeorge759.
That's my
and Instagram at Drew Dodgen. You can like us on Facebook at the Cellcast Podcast, on Twitch at the Cellcast Gaming,
on YouTube at Cellcast,
on Twitter at cast_cell.
That's it.
The Cellcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts are downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us, and also on Podchaser. Email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. The Cellcast is a proud member of both the Pop Americana and Culture Box media networks. For more information, please see the link in the description. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. And remember, that's Cell with a single L.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Squawk!